welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today I am filming a pregnancy Q&A. Since I dropped my first video, I asked you guys to leave some questions in the comments. I also asked a few questions on Instagram, so if you follow me over there, thank you. And I've gathered them all up and I will be answering them today. I'll be referring to them on my phone, so if I'm looking down, that is why. If you are new here, then please do subscribe for more videos. It's going to be a mix of, it's going to be predominantly pregnancy related content for now, but I also do a lot of fashion and lifestyle videos, and one of the videos that I have coming up in this whole new series, if you want to call it that, is around financial assistance that parents in the UK can get access to. So stay tuned for that, subscribe for more videos, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and let's get into the questions. Okay, so I'm going to start with the questions that I got through from YouTube, and then I'll get onto the ones from Instagram. So the first question is, as I mentioned before, I felt that you weren't really into kids from a few videos you made earlier in your YouTube videos. So what was the trigger that said, yes, now is the time? And then, yeah, she goes on to kind of say how, you know, baby has an extended family of YouTube aunties, and yeah, thank you for sharing the news. So yeah, that's a really good question and a great one to start with, actually. So I have said, definitely, I've come on a journey with motherhood for sure. So in some earlier videos, which are probably maybe like years old now, I kind of expressed not feeling like I ever wanted to have kids, or I didn't have that sort of mothering instinct within me. Well, not that I didn't have the instinct within me, but that I just didn't see that for my life or for my future, and it's not something that I had a burning desire to do at all. I'll be completely transparent with you guys. And that was probably in my mid to late 20s. I guess if I'm being super open, the background to that is, as a teenager, as you guys know, I have 3 younger siblings, and as a teenager I spent a lot of my, what you would call possibly free time, looking after my younger siblings, and helping my parents out a lot with childcare. So I was very involved in everything from changing nappies to feeding to bath time to you know, just playing with them, entertaining them. And while I love them dearly, like they kind of feel like my own children, I think that kind of set me on a path to thinking, wow, this is like really hard work. Don't get me wrong, like my parents were both around, and it was like very much a shared load, and mum and dad kind of carrying the weight of that. But I was a very active caretaker, because there were so many of us. So I don't want to say that it put me off, but I think it made me realise how hard it is to actually have and raise kids. And I think I realised at that stage in my life, I kind of wanted to enjoy life for myself, and I couldn't see how I would be doing all that and also enjoying myself. So for that season in my life, from like teens right up until late 20s, I was just like, yeah, I just don't see it for me. Like I've had the experience almost. Obviously it's nothing compared to doing it with your own kids, but I was just like, it just seemed like a lot. Fast forward to turning 30 in my early 30s, getting into a new relationship, and meeting my now fiance. I would say like somewhere between 31 and 33, I almost had, if you want to call it, a biological or psychological shift, where I really felt called to being a mum. This came off the heels of a couple of my friends having like their second babies. Also, you know, meeting somebody who actually was, you know, had a really good, what should I call it, like paternal energy about him. This is my fiance. And seeing him with his like nieces and nephews, and then also within myself, just kind of feeling like, as great as we were as a couple, it would be incredible if we could bring you know, a little person in and create a family unit. And I think all of that combined, and also I don't know if my biological clock just started ticking really loudly, as it would if you're in your sort of early to mid 30s. I just felt a shift and a change, and I all of a sudden was like really wanted kids, and like anything that I saw that was baby related or, you know, toddler related online just like really moved me, and I started to get super broody. So it could have been a hormonal change, it could have been a, you know, just a time in my life where I felt like I'm in the right circumstances to do this. And also, you know, I had enjoyed like my single life and my, you know, young adulthood enough to the point where I felt like I'm ready for the next thing. You know, I'd worked, I'd built up my career, I had travelled, I had, you know, I was in a stable relationship, and I was like, why wouldn't I? And also I really wanted to. And yeah, so I think the main factor was just that, again, what I call a hormonal biological switch going off in me, which I feel like all of a sudden just made me really really want to be a mum. And I have no other way of explaining it. So I guess I bring in all those other factors because I'm sure they would have contributed to it. But I think it was just something within me that changed, and that just felt like this is 100% something that I really want to do, and I really want to spend the next phase of my life dedicated to being a mum, raising a child, and you know, starting our family, as it were. So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up here. Couldn't have predicted this for sure. But I do hear a lot of women talk about, you know, almost like a switch type thing going off within them, and them all of a sudden feeling like they've changed their mind if, you know, they were so like not anti-kids, but like anti-having children. So yeah, that was my story. So the second question is, congratulations again, you're carrying so well. Did you ever feel the pressure to have kids from friends and family? If ever, at what point? I never felt pressure, no. I think my mum always held out hope that I would change my mind. So she would like, I think I would keep reminding her, if anything, that I'm not going to be the one to give her grandkids. And I think, you know what, she took that in her stride. I will give her that. But she never pressured me. And I think, you know, having raised 4 kids herself, I think she realised that, and knowing how actively I was involved, there was never a scenario where I felt like she was putting pressure on me, because she knew how much help I was for her raising hers and just how hard it is. So no, I never felt any pressure from family or friends either. And I was lucky enough that my friends had kids of their own, so they happily, you know, embraced me as an auntie, godmother in some cases. So I think that helped. I think if I had been feeling the pressure, or people were, you know, kind of pushing me into doing it, I don't know if I would have necessarily have had the turnaround, because, you know, you kind of always want to rebel against what you're being forced into doing. So that wouldn't have helped for sure. So someone said, I would like to know what car you'll be getting, as you bought your dream car a few years ago, and also will you be doing a nursery tour? Car wise, I don't think I'll change my car. So I currently have a Mini Cooper. It's a 3-door, which means the only doors to access the car for passengers is in the front. So the back, you have to kind of like fold the seats down. How practical that is, I am yet to find out. But it has all of the fittings for car seats. So it's got like the Isofix adapter for the car seat that we're looking at getting. And it's perfectly in good condition, it runs fine. And you know, my fiance has a car as well, so I don't think we need a new car. If we were to get a new car, it would probably be a joint family car, and then we would just become a 1-car household. But for the time being, me having a car, him having a car, I can't see myself getting a new one. Yes, I did purchase my dream car a few years ago, which was a Range Rover Evoque, and I think that would be the one that, if I was looking to upgrade just my car, I think that would be the one I would get for sure. However, I guess if we're thinking about joint cars or like family cars, the Jaguar F-Pace or F-Type, I don't know what it's called, but the 4x4, really like the look of that one actually. So yeah, I think no car changes for now. We'll probably just stick with what we have, and if, you know, my car breaks down or, you know, becomes irreparable, then I'll probably look to replace it then. Nursery tour. So we're not gonna really have a full-on nursery, as it were, because we use these 2 downstairs rooms as offices for the time being. We won't have a dedicated nursery, so what we'll have is a corner in our main bedroom, where we keep a changing table, next to me cot, drawers for like, oh no, that's the changing table, which will have some drawers on it. We'll just keep most of her stuff up there. So yeah, so there won't really be a nursery tour coming. I might keep some stuff down here in my filming room. Obviously I've already got a wardrobe for her in here. And yeah, if that changes, that will probably change, to be fair, when she turns 1 and she's, well, if she's out of our room, whenever she's out of our room and we, you know, put her in her own dedicated room, then that would be the point at which I think about setting up a proper nursery. But she's going to be in with us for a good long while, at least until she turns 1. So yeah, I'll do a nursery corner tour for you, because we'll be shifting around some of the furniture in our room. So yeah, I'll do a tour of that for sure. So someone asked, please can you talk more about the conception journey, tests you had, etc. So I kind of mentioned that a little bit in the first announcement video that I did, but basically the conception journey for me, I would say, took us about a year to fall pregnant. So we had, I first saw a consultant, well, we both saw the same consultant, and I had my fallopian tubes flushed. I had a pelvic ultrasound just to see if there were any growths, or like anything in my uterus that would kind of stop the process of me having a safe and healthy pregnancy. That came back clear. When they flushed my fallopian tubes, that also came back clear. The process for that, by the way, for those 2 things, so the pelvic ultrasound is like a pregnancy scan. So they do an internal, but they do an internal one. So they do an internal and external. So internal, they insert this thing with a camera, I guess, up your vagina, and basically like look around to see what's in there, and then they do like an over-the-top scan as well, like over your belly. And then the fallopian tube, so basically what they do is they put a balloon-like thing inside your uterus, so like up through the vagina. They inflate it, and I think they fill it with like this like yellow dye, and then they burst it, and then the dye like goes through, I think, the fallopian tubes, and then I think it passes out eventually. But basically, they use that dye to see if there's any blockages. So that was quite uncomfortable, actually, I would say. It did just feel like somebody was bloating something up in my womb. So that was the toughest test. And then I also had my AMH levels assessed, I think, which was via a blood test. So basically, they're looking at my ovarian reserve to see if I had, you know, a decent number of good quality eggs left. And I did. So yeah, all the tests came back clear. And that was, I think we started the testing process from January through to April. And then from that point on, I think we were kind of just given the all clear to just keep trying naturally for another year. And yeah, then we fell pregnant in November, or we found out in November. And then for my partner, it was just a semen analysis, and that came back really good as well. So yeah, those were the tests. Another question I had was, how are you feeling? So I'm in my second trimester now, and I'm feeling really good. No, sorry, third. So at the end of week 27, which will be Saturday, I will be going into my third trimester, I believe. So I'm feeling really good. Definitely my favourite trimester so far. The first was filled with nausea and, you know, just kind of getting used to like your body being just going through it, starting to grow this life. So yeah, once the nausea passed, I got a few headaches, nothing too bad. But once that all passed, which was literally on the 12-week mark, I've been feeling so much better. I've got my energy back. I can do more stuff around the house. I feel like this is the time I'm going to use to like start prepping stuff and getting things set up and ready for baby. So I feel really good. And also now that the bump is showing, and I'm feeling kicks as well. It's a really exciting part of the pregnancy, for sure. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm like so looking forward to, you know, giving birth and meeting baby girl. So there's that to come also, but I'm feeling really good. Last question from YouTube is, will you baptize the baby? And 2, will you want to be a stay-at-home mum for a couple of years or back to work after a few months? Good question. Yes, I would like to baptize, christen the baby. I have chosen the godparents that will come from my side, so that is in the works. I think what we might do is just combine like a christening with like a first birthday party, just to keep it all. I hate planning parties. You guys are going to learn this about me. Like, even the baby shower has been an uphill battle. So yes, I will be christening the baby, because I would like to raise her in the Christian faith, as I was. But that's not to say that, you know, she can't go on and make her own decisions about, you know, what her spiritual life looks like. But I guess as far as like her early formative years, for me, it's Christianity that speaks to me, and that I would like her to kind of grow up in that way. Will I want to be a stay-at-home mum? 100%. I'd love to. I think I will. So I'll be taking a year maternity leave, and yeah, during that year, I think I'll just be, you know, adjusting to motherhood. I'll be creating content on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of the things. And if something comes from that means that, you know, I don't, you know, that takes off, then obviously I'll have to then think about, you know, what going back to work looks like for me. Yeah, I don't think I would ever be a stay-at-home mum in the sense that my only job is that my full-time job is being a mum. I think I would always want to be doing something else, like a YouTube or some other side hustle or passion project. But yeah, for a year at least, I will be off on maternity leave and full-time stay at home, dedicating all of my attention to my baby girl. So yes, have I answered your question? In an ideal world, yeah, I would be a stay-at-home mum, but we've always been a 2-income household, and that works really well for us, and I think we both enjoy working. So I don't see that for me, much as I would love that. I don't know. I'm not traditional, like, what's that girl, Nara? I'm not like a trad wife type vibe. I'm very much, you know, I do love to do things outside of the house. I have I have my career, my marketing career, and it's something I'd like to stay close to. So yeah, but who knows, you know, I might change my view on that after you know, I give birth, and you know, after I've been at home with her for a few months. So we'll see. I'm open-minded, but I'll definitely be taking a good year off work anyway. So let's go to questions on Instagram. Any cravings? None at the moment, but I think before I hit sort of right into the second trimester, my big craving was KFC mashed potato. I don't know what it is, and it also doesn't agree with me so well, because I always find that my sorry, I'm just taking off my rings. My hands are like swollen. Could this be a pregnancy symptom? I don't know. But I always found that after I would have the KFC mash, I would feel like super bloated after. So I don't know what they put in it, but it was just good. It was just everything for me. And generally potatoes in all forms. So I was having a lot of jacket potato. I was having a lot of mashed potato. Yeah, carbs. Yeah. So, but yeah, KFC mash was, I would say, one of my very specific cravings. Another question I had was, have you looked into, or do you plan to have a doula? So that's a good question. And also I had another question, which was, do I have a birth plan yet? And am I nervous? So I have a good idea of what my birth plan is going to be, but I don't know if I necessarily want to speak about it before I make the final decision. So I am considering all types of, basically I'm open-minded at this point, like, but I am leaning more towards one particular route. So I don't have my birth plan firmed up just yet, but I think come June I will have a very good idea of that, and I'll probably talk about it in my third trimester vlog for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Would I have a doula? I don't know that I would. I think I would, in any eventuality, I think I would probably lean more towards the sort of hospital staff and the support that comes with the NHS, and medication. Like, I want to be medicated, or pain. Like, I want pain relief. I'm not trying to be a hero, so however that looks, that is likely going to be what my birth plan is. But if anyone has had any great experiences with a doula and you're in the UK, I'd love to hear about it. I'm always open to hearing about people's birth experiences. So yeah, comment down below and let me know. Am I nervous? Yes, I'm also very nervous. Things that make me nervous are, you know, those first few weeks with a newborn. Sleep deprivation makes me super nervous. Recovery after labour makes me nervous. But these are all things that come with it, and they're all part of the journey. And as much as I'm nervous, I'm really excited, because what comes at the end of it is I get to meet my baby. So yeah. Do I feel different within myself? So the question is, do you feel different within yourself while you are expecting? 100%. I feel a lot of the time like I'm being attacked from the inside, because she is getting bigger, her kicks are getting stronger, and whenever she moves around or like, you know, changes position, I feel it more intensely, shall I say. It's all very reassuring though, because, you know, whenever she's quite still, I am a bit concerned, but then she'll always reassure me with a good old kick to the bladder or the rib. So yeah, I feel that, and that part of it feels not as surreal as I thought it would, but also like the first time I felt like the little like rolling movements or the like flutters, it was like mind-blowing. Feeling movement has been very gradual, so it hasn't like come as a huge shock, like it didn't just happen overnight. Like I felt little kicks gradually getting stronger and stronger. So yeah, but I feel it's hard, it's something that's really hard to wrap your head around, that is a human being in there, because it's, I think for some time I will probably just still feel like this is a little, I don't know, like, to think that this is a baby in here, while I know this is a baby, it doesn't feel like a baby, it feels like it, but then it does. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I know this is my child in here, but I feel like until I see her in the physical, it's going to be hard for me to like associate her in the same way that I would see a little newborn baby who's out of the womb, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I feel different. I feel very protective of my bump. That is what I wasn't prepared for. I just, yeah, I always cover it or hold it if I'm like going past sharp objects or like go around corners and stuff. And you know, I always like people to give me a bit of a warning if they're gonna like feel or like touch the bump. So yeah, that took me by surprise. Like even for her dad. I do, if he doesn't give me a warning, I get like a nervous twitch in my belly. So my maternal instincts have definitely kicked in for sure. Another question was, how are you finding pregnancy? Are you feeling any kicks in? Yes. So yeah, I've kind of answered that one. And the kicks are like, as baby gets bigger, before they were just kind of like, you know, in your sort of pelvic area, but now I'm feeling them like above my belly button. My belly button's completely disappearing, by the way. That's the funniest thing. I had a proper innie before, but like it's flat now, so bye bye belly button. But yeah, I'm feeling the kicks like just above there now, the last couple of weeks, which is weird. So yeah, just being absolutely you know, kicked and punched from inside. It's actually quite funny. But yeah, it's really reassuring. Somebody asked, birth centre or maternity unit? Very likely maternity unit. I think I just want to be close to all the doctors, nurses, drugs, machines, everything that I could possibly have, as it's my first, and I don't know what to expect. So for sure maternity unit. And the final question, which is from my fiance, is how do you look so sexy? I honestly don't look like this all the time. On a daily basis, it's funny that he's put that in, and it was definitely a joke question, but on a daily basis I look like, you guys, I mean, you've seen the vlogs and that's when I have a wig on. So I feel it's an interesting word to use, because I actually do love my pregnant body, and I never thought that I would. I thought that I would, you know, like be really self-conscious, or like, you know, have all these gripes about, you know, where I was putting on weight and whatnot. But to be honest, I love my body in this form and seeing it like completely transform and carry this life. And to me, there's nothing more empowering, nothing more sexy, and nothing more you know, like just natural than this. Don't get me wrong, I do miss it. I miss my flat stomach, and I hope that at some point I can get some of that back. But I'm loving my new body for sure. I'm loving my new body, and most of all because of what it's doing. It's growing and keeping our baby girl safe. So yeah, that is all the questions. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me and the not so constant uploads, but this one will be put us back on a regular path. Third trimester vlog coming, well, at the end of the third trimester, so soonish. As I mentioned, I've got a video on financial aid for parents that you have access to if you live in the UK, so look out for that one. And it might be a reel, oh sorry, not real, a shorts video, so I'll post it on here, and then it'll probably be on my TikTok and my yeah, just TikTok, here on TikTok. I think if you guys have any more suggestions for videos, then let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in my upcoming videos. Subscribe for more content from me, and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.